All right, guys. So I was in a situation where I asked someone out. I asked someone for, a random one night, one night stand kind of thing. I shouldn't. I'm not sure if I can talk about this on here very much, but I'll just say that I asked them for that. That's all I'll mention that. And they said, that they were going to, and then they disappeared, right? So I know you're like thinking, well, that's like being ghosted. That's like not being told. That's like not being told what's happening or whatever. And it's a one night, you know what, so I can't really complain, right? Because it's not like it's going to go anywhere. It's not like it's a huge deal, really. It would only have lasted one night. It wasn't like a major thing, right? But to be told they're gonna go and come back and do this, and then and then they disappeared, and you're like thinking to yourself like, well, for me, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm going to be a huge star. Like, unless they didn't know that, I don't know. I never told them about my YouTube channel, but I'm like, I'm going to be a huge star. Like, why would you do that? And even if I'm not a huge star, I think that's very rude, right? And now people don't need a reason necessarily to diss someone. They don't need a reason to say no. A lot of people really don't need a reason. I mean, if they're, let's say they have maybe something they're subconscious about, and I'm super gorgeous, so they don't want to let me know in general that they're gonna say no for whatever reason, because they've been made fun of for this or something, right? So they're gonna lead me on and pretend, right? Which I understand you're allowed to do whatever you want. You don't have to follow a certain guideline or rule. It's not like you have to be, steadfast in what you're doing. You can do whatever. In today's dating world, we live in a world where people can ghost you, gaslight you, whatever. I don't know what gaslighting means, but I think gaslighting is very serious. But yeah, they can ghost you anytime. They don't have to respond to you. People can, reject you in a text. People can just reject you by not saying anything. People can, people tend to have affairs these days a lot of times. People tend to, be very much like, oh, I'm not gonna pursue this and can do whatever. If this person had been self-conscious in any way about anything they do, I'm a perfect looking person. I'm very good looking. So maybe they just felt, or maybe they were dating someone. I don't know. But I was like, well, you could have said a reason other than I'm gonna go and come back. Like, I'm like super good looking and I'm gonna be a huge celebrity. So, and personally for me, I'm not the kind of person that's like, I'm gonna be a huge celebrity, so you have to listen to what I say and do what I do what I want you to do. I understand that people might not like a celebrity type, or people don't want to have to answer to you just because you're a celebrity. I understand that that's a possibility. And I don't expect it. For me, I'm not the kind of person that's like, I need diva or divo behavior. I'm not the kind of person that's ever been like, oh, if you diss me or you're not giving me free stuff or whatever, then you're a loser. I'm not like that. I've never been like that really, and I don't plan on being like that. When I'm super famous, people do nice things for me all the time. I get lots of nice treats by being sort of famous. But people are always so nice to me. But in general, I'm not the kind of person that's gonna like flash my social media to get a date, or to be around people and expect them to be like at their best behavior. I understand that some people have an awkward time around celebrity types, or they just can't stand them, and why would I expect them to behave a certain way? If you don't like me for any reason, yes, of course I'm going to be a celebrity type. I'm going to be a huge celebrity, but I don't expect you to be like, oh my God, I have to behave or I have to be a certain way. Of course, it'd be nice, and people generally are that way because they know I'm going to be huge. But I'm just like, the least you could do. I mean, I don't expect anything really. If they didn't want to do that, that's fine. But I'm like the least you can do is say, oh, you're very good looking, but I'm not interested. I just feel like, and I try to do that with everybody too. But I guess there's been times where I've been very mean, or callous, or whatever to someone, or I've been very much the kind of person that's like, that's like I know my power in my looks, and I took advantage of it, and I treated people badly. Sometimes this is before I got famous. Nowadays, I can't do that because I'm going to be famous, so people would really be upset by that. But I'm like the least you can do is like acknowledge that yes, you're good, I'm great, but like games like that are just not cool. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think you need to be someone that's going to be a celebrity for that person to regret it. But I mean, I'm just like, I'm going to be a huge celebrity. Wouldn't you want to treat me well, or at least, and I expect, like I said, I don't need like extreme Devo treatment or diva treatment, but I was a guy at the time. But like, I'm always a guy in my personal life. But yeah, so I'm like, I don't expect Devo treatment, but it's like, to say you're going to leave and come back and then you just disappear. Like I just think how is that even possible? I'm so good looking and I'm like going to be a celebrity. I mean, I can understand if you're taken, or I don't know what the situation was. I can understand if you're taken, or you are in a relationship, whatever, or maybe you like other types of people or whatever. Maybe I'm not your type, even though I'm gorgeous. But I'm just like, I'm going to be a huge celebrity. Just say to me, even if you wanted to make something up, instead of being like, you could have said you're in a relationship or something. Maybe you're self-conscious because I'm super gorgeous, but you could have made something up. You didn't have to be like, I'll be back and then not come back. I just don't get that mentality. Like, especially when I'm going to be a huge celebrity. And like I said, I don't want to flaunt that power, but it's like, I just don't get it. I just think, I'm just like, I'm too good for that. Like, honestly. Anyway, darling, totally enjoy by now. Bye, everyone. Bye, guys.